Hey, what's up? This is Melanie Fiona, singer-songwriter, signed to Title IX, SRC, Universal Motown Records, and I'm kicking it off the wall with Home Base and Hot Mop Films.
Hello? 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 Hello?
That's right! Music was something that was very, very instrumental in my house. My dad plays guitar. My mom is just a singing wonder. When I was a little girl, she always used to sing. When she was pregnant with me, she used to play music, and so it was just really, I think, instinctive for me from the time I was a little girl that music was just a big part of what I loved. At around 3, I sang "The Greatest Love of All" by Whitney Houston. My dad was playing on the guitar. And then my parents were like, oh yeah, she can actually really sing. Like, she just doesn't love music, she actually really can sing. And by the time I got to high school, I really realized that music was just kind of my identity. So I said, okay, I really want to get into it. And just after high school, I met my executive producer, and we met and we just kind of started working together. It's definitely got two sides to the coin, you know. I mean, I think when you're doing it independently, it's really just you, and there's nobody else around you telling you how to do you. And then you get a label, and then it's like, oh, I have support. I have people who, you know, I have a major label that stands beside my name and is going to distribute this music. So, you know, it was a grind, but even signed, it's still a grind. Like, it's still not easy. The concept of the album is The Bridge. That's the title of the album. And, you know, when I was recording music creatively, even before I got a record deal, I wanted to make a body of work that would reflect who I was, you know, musically, culturally. You know, I have West Indian heritage and grew up in Toronto, which is very multicultural, traveled the world making my album, and, you know, definitely thought that that was what would set me aside from doing typical R&B or, you know, pop or soul or whatever. The concept of the album is The Bridge because I wanted to bridge as many musical genres, as many age groups, as many genders, which are only 2, I hope, you know, as many ethnicities and languages and just cultures through the album, because I was influenced by so much different type of music. You know, my parents listened to a lot of soul music growing up, so for me that's the foundation of the album. One of the things that I think I've come across a lot is that when people are discovering my music, they don't necessarily get me at initial glance. I get a lot of stereotypes where people are very shocked by the type of music that I do, what I sing, how I sing, what I sing about, how I perform. You know, and that's something that I think more people are so focused on, like physicality and sexuality, and you know, a lot of artists, female artists especially, I find they have to resort to other, you know, measures of selling sex, I think, to make music or make their music have attention, and that's just kind of not what my thing is. I mean, I know how to be sexy when I want to be, and I think the confidence is the sexiest thing, and I feel pretty confident in the music that I do. Me and Quest met on tour. Quest, for me, was somebody that I always said, oh, you know, I want to work with, and we met the last day of the tour. We met in Paris the day that they almost died on the bus, on the crash, and we met, and we just kind of kept in touch from there, and then, you know, we started talking about doing a mixtape together. And, you know, he was in New York because he's doing the Jimmy Fallon show, and we got into the studio and we're like, okay, we're gonna do it. He's like, okay, I'll help you out. So we got in the studio, had no idea what was gonna happen, and he had the Delphonics from Philly, and we just got in the studio and started freestyling, playing the songs off of my album, remixed though, like live, like differently. So if they were up-tempos, they became ballads. And we just unrehearsed, just kind of hit the record button and saw what came out. And what you hear on the mixtape is what we did. Like, there was no, you know, intense correction and going back and editing. Like, it really was just the natural, organic vibe in that studio. That experience was so crazy to me because, like I said, I had no single out at the time, and Kanye was another one that I was always like, I want to work with, but I didn't even, at that time in my mind, think like tour. I was like studio in my mind. It was crazy. Like, I met Kanye for the first time. He came out and watched my second show the second day, took me aside. He said, whatever you have to do to make people remember you, he said, don't be afraid to do it. And after watching him and just getting on that stage and really seeing what it takes, I got it in my head, like, oh, okay, like, you got to let all reservations go when you get on that stage. The best thing that I think helped me get to where I'm at is having a really solid team around me. That is the key. You know, and then advice as an artist, I just kind of feel like those who know that they're destined for this, it's never a question in your head. So like, if you're questioning that this is what you should be doing, you kind of gotta take a step back and really be like, okay, like if you're going for it, you gotta go for it. For me, the blogs are really great because they allow me to be universal at all times. So I mean, it's been cool. I appreciate the loves from blogs and all the online mags and people that, you know, have positive things to say, even the people that have negative things to say. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but for me, because without this album being out already, the blogs have been great. They've been really great for me, so I really can't complain. I never record in the day. I have a really deep, raspy voice that decides when it wants to wake up, and it doesn't wake up usually till the night. I'm like a night owl, so nighttime is definitely the right time for me to record. For me, I kind of always need to have my laptop. I have a dictaphone with me, and I kind of just get in the booth. I record in the dark. I don't like lights when I record. It's just kind of like a vibe for me, and really just being rested and being able to get into the studio. I think that's for me the best. Before I signed my record deal, I started, you know, working solely with Super Dupes, and I was writing and you know, vocal arranging and doing everything on my own. And he gave me this track because I wanted to develop my sound. And it was just kind of like a freestyle idea that turned into, this is really how crazy West Indian women are. And, you know, the song is, somebody come get me before I kill this man. And people were like, did she say that? And I was like, yes, I did. Because I know that's real, and I know, like, hot-blooded West Indian women, it's like, that's even women of all ethnicities, you know, you feel that way sometimes. And so it just kind of came about, freestyle idea, and then it turned into this song that caught wind through all the DJs, and then Reggae Gold hit me up and was like, I want to put it on the compilation, and there it went. You know, I remember going back, and they were so, the family and friends that we met there were so hospitable to us. All they could do was offer us, come and eat, come, we cook good food, come, look, you want some, you want this. And that's all they had to offer. But they were so fascinated by our clothes and our shoes and things that I remember we left with nothing. We left everything behind for them and just gave these people down there that didn't know and have any better, you know, everything that we had at the time. So it's definitely a dream of mine to go back now because of music, and to kind of give back and show the people down there that, you know, I'm a product of Guyanese heritage, and I'm, you know, becoming an international artist, and there are possibilities out there, and you can branch out. In Toronto, where I'm from, we have like one mainstream urban classified radio station that plays urban music. So, you know, it's definitely more of a struggle, and where I'm from, like, you don't get the love until you get the stamp of approval from the States. Like, this is something that's recently changing with, you know, myself, with Drake. You know, we're getting the homegrown love, but, you know, as history would go, you don't really get that love until you really break elsewhere. So, you know, I have no problems. It is what it is. Just means I gotta work harder to bring it back home. That show put me on a high that I think I still go to when I want to relive what that was. It was totally unexpected. It was people lined up around the block, sold out, chanting, screaming my name. That show for me was one of the first times I felt like I was 8 years old again. When you dream of hearing people sing your songs and chant your name on stage, and how you feel, like that moment, that show for me was that moment when I felt like a little girl, like, and that my dream was really coming true for me. I think you see real artists when you ask them to perform. I think that's like the best test, because the studio can make anybody a singer now, but I mean, like, it's the real deal. It's like, okay, I came, I spent money to see you. What is it? What is it that you really do? And you know, if you're just gonna sing or rap over top of your dubs, and that's not really a show, I could listen to that at home. Hey, what's up? This is Melanie Fiona, and you just checked out my interview, which was off the wall and in the cold, with Hot Mop Films and Homebase. Be sure to check out my debut album dropping November 10th. It's called The Bridge. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you soon. Peace.
Have you heard the news?
Yo, I'd love to chill with Bob Marley. That was a musical revolution and a genius at work. So I would love to just do the Bob Marley thing and chill. Yeah. If you did not smoke weed, you would have to smoke weed with Bob Marley. It's just like, it's a given. If you just smoke it out and listen to him play the guitar, I don't know. I don't rap. blacka, blacka. I do in my mind. Cut that. Don't even show that anywhere. Melanie Fiona. Word. All the time I'm a rapper in my mind. Blah. Hot 16. I'm not a rapper. Please don't quote me as being a rapper.